Hello and welcome to the TradeSmart live trading room daily session with myself, Simon Klein. Mike may be joining shortly. March the 29th, almost at the end of March, the end of the first quarter of 2022. So welcome everybody, welcome all the new people, and let's dive straight in. So just let me know, those of you here live, that you can hear me and see the screen. And a quick disclaimer as usual, just bear in mind all comments we make for educational purposes only. You will know there's a high degree of risk involved in all types of trading, and we're not responsible for your trading and investment results. So let's take a look at the markets, and we will start, as we usually do, with the dollar. So we said what's likely to happen is the dollar is going to move up to the top of the daily base, and you can see we still have price direction down here on the weekly chart. We're in supply here on the monthly chart, and you can see what happened today. We got a move, big move down. Now we had a move up and a move down, and this is where you get the choppiness of the market, especially where you're at when you're at highs, and you could go either way. And the market so far decided to go down, but it doesn't mean it can't come back and go higher. Now what I want to do is, you see this is all supply in this area. Now see if we can draw it a bit better now. No, this is the best way. You see we have a level here, and we also have a level here as well. I'm going to remove this level to make it easier to see what's going on. You can see what actually happened here. And then we also came in, this is also a level down to here. You can see, so what I'm going to do, remove this level now since we traded through it, but notice how we bounced from that level. So I'm going to mark here because this is a significant demand area that was broken and made catch over here. And if you look left, and again, if I were to make this slightly bigger and draw it like that, it's another way. Look at, this is demand, okay? This is demand, a significant level of demand. It broke above a pivot. You guys hearing me? So you can see how the market is. I mean, technically it's almost perfect. And from when it's not technically perfect, like this, higher high and then lower low, that's exactly what the market does in this scenario. It runs one way, runs the other way. But if you play and trade the extremes, you should be okay most of the time, okay, with a wide enough stop. And again, these are what we're pointing out here now. And again, market's not doing anything that it shouldn't be doing. It's exactly as this market should normally play out in these scenarios. You can see we have another level slightly higher than this. So I'm going to remove this level. It's the same level as what we have higher. I want to make it easier to see what's going on. So let's do this and this. And we'll mark the top out now from, well, we have a level here, but I'm going to mark it from the top there. Okay. And we also have a level down to here, which is why this move up stopped and turned around with a reversal. One reversal candle, two reversal candles, and boom, move down. And remember, this is a demand area that can be drawn all the way up to here, which is why we're stopping there as well. I've just drawn more of the extreme so you can actually see. Now we can see clearly what's going on. And we said yesterday as well, this is what's likely going to happen. The market is moving up. So it moved up to hit the supply at the top of the base and then came back in. I mean, again, this is the choppiness of the market in this scenario. You need to be able to read this and understand how to trade accordingly. You're going to get sudden burst moves in one way and then the other way. This is the way the market moves. It's the bandwagon theory. It's trying to throw everyone off the train before it makes its move. So we're still kind of shaking backwards and forwards. So we have price direction on the daily chart is up. 4-hour chart, we are down. And 1-hour chart currently down, but it may change to up. In terms of supply and demand, we're between on both. So that puts us really more downside bias at the moment, short bias. As in, most likely we're going back down to the bottom of the base. And we're going to bounce every time we hit demand on the way down. Unless, of course, we catch somewhere, which we could do. We've got actually demand inside the base here and this level. But notice we moved to the top. So you'll see how this works. If we go below here, we're almost certainly going to get down to the bottom of the base again, and we'll just be in this basing scenario. And again, that's one of the things that you need to learn how to do, how to trade bases. Most likely the dollar's going down today. Okay, it's going to continue. Don't look to buy it until it reverses. It's coming down from the top of the base. And this is the same scenario as when it was going up from the bottom of the base. If you're going to short, it's going to be short-lived until we get to the top, which is where we are now. The odds are more on the downside, but we could, selling supply is probably slightly higher odds now than buying demand, but it could still hold and push higher. So we need to keep that in mind. Okay, let's move on to the euro. We'll see the same thing. Now, what did we say yesterday about the euro? When you see this structure, there's a basing structure. What did we say yesterday? We said we came below the base and back in, we're going to go above. Well, there you have it. It did it in the end. It took a bit of chopping around to get there, but ultimately, you want to be buying this pullback here and then trading it above the base. And exactly what it did. This is the top of the base. This is the bottom of the base. See the base here? Here's the move below, hit the demand. Now we're hitting supply above the base, not such a strong level, but it's still supply above the base. And you can see how the market's turning here. We still have price direction up, even though we've got a lower high here. So that's the high probability trade, and actually played out over 2 days, but mostly from this time, from 10 a.m. Eastern time when this bar closed. You could have picked it up down here, and you see how choppy it got in the middle. You want to get the extreme. You want to get the extreme. You don't want to get involved in this chop. I mean, you can do for smaller kind of move, but so likely at the moment, price direction on the daily chart is to the downside. 4 hour pointing to the upside, or 1 hour definitely to the upside, and okay, and in terms of supply and demand, I'm going to say, well, we're kind of at supply. I'm going to say between on both. This is not a supply we really want. It's going higher, okay? And as we said, the dollar is going down. So we're long bias on this at the moment, yeah. I think, did we just go above the high here? Almost. I mean, this is chop zone. It's probably going up here. I may pull back again, but you can see this is the structure. Remember I said you've got to be very careful on the short side. It comes extremely clear here today. Notice the base, up, down, up. Here's one base. Here's the move down. This bar's telling me I'm going to break above. That's what it does, probably about over 80% of the time, okay? And hey, Mike, I know you probably can't speak, but you can type. Great to have you here. Okay, so let's go now to the pound. Okay, the pound, we said yesterday, short down to this level, 130.50. Did we get there? Well, it didn't get there yesterday, but it got there today. There you go, 130.50. We said 130.55, let's target. It got down to 130.52, 502. Yeah, that's close enough. So when I say 50, I mean 5 pips up or down, you know. So that was the trade. It went below here. It's going down to this demand level. Okay. And you can see it also clearly here on the 4 hour. Look where it stopped, right? I mean, can you get more accurate than that? I mean, it's close enough. It's the fulcrum. It's a 50. It's gonna, from supply here to demand, and it went back up again. But so what? You got to have a wide enough stop, and the play was to play on the short side. And you had an opportunity also to get, you see how we came below, and then this demand level becomes supply. And now we're coming back again. Now we're bouncing from demand. We just hit demand here pretty much on the monthly chart, which was, yeah, and we're coming up from the monthly. This is not really a sell setup, okay? Generally speaking, you're not going to get a move down from this. From a big move down on the first sell setup generally fails in this scenario. So it's probably going higher, at least temporarily. Okay, and I know we've got supply overhead here as well, so we may just bounce around in this area. So we have price direction currently down on the daily. We're pointing to the downside on the 4 hour and upside on the 1 hour. Isn't it amazing to be able to read the market and understand what's going on, and you see it and it just plays out like that almost every time? My screen's a bit fuzzy. Let me try again. Is that better? Okay, so down 4 hour, even though it may turn to up on the 1 hour. And in terms of supply and demand, well, we're kind of between on both. I'm going to go with between as well. And that puts us currently neutral on this one. Neutral to, I mean, yeah, you could have bought pullback here. Neutral to bullish. And I think that's going to be, it's amazing, isn't it? I think they raised interest rates in the US, and yet the dollar is, well, currently kind of going down. Anyway, let's go to the Aussie dollar. Why is this not updating? So we say this is going to chop around here because we've got price direction down from supply, which is not really a sell in this case. And notice we came back down to demand here, and we're turning. And look at the chop here. And you know the levels. Look at this. Here's the base. Here's a clue we're going down, the move up and in. There's the move below the base. Okay, this was yesterday. We hit demand and now we bounce around in this level. Now we come back and in and we fail to go down, means we're going higher again. This should have gone down, but now we didn't, means we're going up. So we're probably going higher again. And even though this looks like a sell, it's not high probability because we're pretty bullish now on the bigger time frame. So we'd rather be on the buy side. So price direction on the daily chart is down. It may give us a bigger pullback, but notice we're holding. We've got price direction up on the 4-hour chart and up on the 1-hour chart. In terms of supply and demand between on both, we're long bias on this, and this was relatively strong. The only thing we've got against this is we're close to supply here with price direction down, but notice it's not going down. Could it? Yeah, it could, but it's not going down at the moment. You want to buy demand here. You could also sell supply, but don't do anything in the middle. Otherwise, you'll get chopped around. Okay, yen and yen pairs. The yen, look at this move. We said way back up here, yeah, we're going down to this level. And guess what? It's not the strongest demand level here. If it breaks this level, well, we're going to go to all-time lows here on the yen, all-time lows in over 20 years. Yeah, less than 20 years. Well, I can only see far back as 2003, but it's almost 20 years, 19 years. If we break, we're almost at the lows now. Here's the lows. We're almost there. So we're going to get some form of probably bounce. If it doesn't go too far or go sideways, then we go down. And this is good for the US markets as well. It means US markets are going most likely higher, but we may get a problem if we bounce it. And you can see it's trying to. This is usually the structure of a bounce, but notice no follow through. This is weak. This means we may have some more downside or it's not done it yet, because what should happen is we should move up to this level. And you can see it's kind of flatten out. We get a big move down, and there's your opportunity to buy or to sell on the yen pairs. Okay, again, dollar going down. Everything else against the dollar should be going up. Okay, yeah, let's move on. So euro yen. So again, you want to be, we said, remember, this is not a big time sell yesterday. It's a buy. We're going higher. We've broken above this level, we said, and we're going to continue. Okay, it's going to break probably above this level. We're going to get most likely a bigger move up as the dollar continues to drop, if it does, and the yen continue to drop. But beware, we may get a move back. We may get it. Yeah. So again, this is the base that broke down and came back in and pushed above. It's the same structure almost every single time. You don't want to get in now on the buy side. It's already had the move up. You want to get in down, lower levels. Price direction up on the daily, up on the down on the 4-hour currently, but up on the 1-hour. And we're basically between supply and demand. This is not supply. This is just a pullback. And we've got demand beneath us here. And so basically neutral at the moment. Neutral long, but cautious at the top. Dollar yen. Okay, we're into supply, bigger time frame. We got right up to these highs. Look at this. It's amazing, isn't it? These are all-time highs from way back when. We've still got a level above. And the odds are we're going to break this level. But if the yen bounces, this thing may pull back. So just be aware of that. This is not the highest probability entry area to go to the long side on. But it's also not high probability short either. We could play this on the smaller time frames. Again, you can see it. It's not really dropping. Yeah. So price direction, daily chart is up. 4-hour chart currently to the downside. 1-hour current also down. So we could offer maybe a smaller time frame short here. We're basically between supply and demand. There is a possibility, if you notice, the lows, the highs here are going lower. The lows are here. So there's a possibility 1, 2, this time we break and we get down here. So we could have a trade on the short side, so long as the dollar continues to go down and the yen pushes up. Otherwise, if the yen suddenly starts bouncing, this thing, if the yen starts bouncing, that's what we want. We want the yen to move up and this to pull down. If the yen keeps dropping, then this is not going to drop. It's going to go higher. So this is a possibility to play. Potentially, we could look for a short if it sets up. That's the idea. I mean, you could even play that now. So we're kind of a bit more intraday short bias on this one, so long as you want to watch the dollar dropping and you want to watch the yen pushing up from the demand. Okay, Swissy. So this is, as we said, this is chop zone because we've got a move back into this space, which means we should go down, but yet we're holding. And we also put in a higher high here yesterday. So, and again, this is going to be pretty choppy. If the dollar goes down, this is not going to continue up. It's not likely. So we have price direction currently to the upside on the daily, upside on the 4 hour, downside 1 hour. And in terms of supply and demand, we're pretty much between, even though we could say this. And let's have a look and see if we can do this a bit better. Let's mark this up here to the tail end of this. And we have demand here now. And basically up there, we could mark it as well. We'll mark it down here and say that between supply and demand, we could hold this as a pivot. It didn't make a higher high though. So this is the pivot that we went above. So it's not as strong. And see if we can do this also on the, so you can see we held, let's take this to the tail of this, the best way of doing that now. And here's a chop above this area and below this area. So let's remove this and go to the second level down. And it's really here. But what I'm going to do is mark it out from, actually, this is the best place to put it. There's no better place here. We've got to keep an eye on that. Okay, so we're pointing up on the daily. Up and above. Notice we didn't close above, but we went above the pivot here. So I'm going to remove this. This demand's intact, a significant level of demand above this pivot here. And this is what we look like at the moment. So price direction up on the daily chart, pointing up on the 4 hour, down on the 1 hour, basically between supply and demand. And we could say at demand on the, yeah, I'm going to say between them both. We're kind of neutral here at the moment. Okay, gold we said is likely gonna, well, you see, here's the base, there's a move above, move in, we're going down, okay? Going down, you can see the move here. We're gonna see how we close tomorrow. No, we've got Thursday, not tomorrow, Thursday is the end of the month. How this closes will determine what's likely to happen next. We close back in the base, we're gonna go down. If we close above, we're gonna go higher. And if we close somewhere in between, well, there's no really in between. It may chop around. Okay, oil. Same thing with oil. Generally, this, after a big move down, you get a bounce, but it's not likely going to take out the high. We'll see by the end of the week. If we put in a lower high, we're going to get chop or a pullback. And so far, pullback. You can see move down on oil so far. E-minis, very, very bullish at the moment. The only thing that's bearish about it, we broke the trend and we're in supply here. Yeah. Apart from that, all the other time frames are bullish now. We've broken above this pivot. We're going up. We're gonna contend with the highs again. Okay. You can see here on the daily, we've gone above the supply. As we said, if we held here, we're going higher. And you got to be super careful because we're still in supply here on a bigger time frame and the market top. We're not in an uptrend anymore. So just bear that in mind. NASDAQ, same thing. NASDAQ's also moving up from demand, up from this demand, and holding and breaking levels of supply. Nice. Look at this move up from the lows. Pretty powerful, but remember, we broke the uptrend here. This was the uptrend. This is the break. This move up, generally sellable, but we may go back and contend with the highs again. Okay, Bitcoin, we said bullish. Yeah, we have now gone above the base. We're in supply above the base here. And we're also, if we close month up here, the odds are we're going up again back to the highs. We still, if we want to be super careful, I mean, we could even move up to here, but again, it's still quite, we've got to make sure. Let's do that. Let's remove that since we've got, this is the level we need to stay below. If you make it a bigger level than we had it before, we had it like this and we've gone above, which means pretty bullish at the moment. Because if you see what I mean, yeah. But really, anywhere in here, it could stop. So it could go up to here and turn around to the top of this bar. And Ethereum, we also said yesterday, was more bullish. So it's continuing its move up after, I mean, we dropped down. It's a buy, pullbacks to demand. We've gone above here, above the basing area, and it's looking pretty strong. A nice steady move up. And I think that's been the same across the whole crypto markets. Thanks, Mike. Let's have a look. CAD. Dollar going down, Canadian dollar, no surprises. We had a big move up and a big move down. Reversal bar, notice, and continue. Don't try buying after reversal bar until you get back down to demand levels on the bigger time frame. Right, so it's going to be a bit tricky today because we've had some big moves. And see, dollar, we've taken out this pivot. You see that? We've gone below. So let's remove this. No demand here. We may have slightly lower at this level. We also have maybe something here as well. I mean, you can see that's this level. Yeah. So we've got demand, and here also you can see we bounced. We saw this happen just now. Bounced up this area. Look how strong the bounce is. It takes you to about this area, which is where we went. Yeah, around about. That's the strength of this demand. So we did the bounce. Yeah. We're in a reversal bar. We're going down. So we're going down to the next level. We just broke below this area, which is no surprise because, well, let's take this down again. There's no real demand below. There's just an area where we moved up from. It's not a significant level. So we'll take this off and you see we could mark out from here. That's the best way to do it. Not significant where it first started, but maybe here it is at this level. But we went slightly lower than that, so we'll have to go with that. And it's not strong. This is maybe stronger on the sell side, and then we've got other levels below that could stop. Like we've got a level here as well. Actually, let's mark out this level here. Not the strongest level, but bouncing and maybe going lower. We'll see. Now it gets too many lines, it gets hard to see what's going on. Okay, interesting. So let's have a look. Forex Factory, if we have any news today. Yeah, FOMC members speaking in about an hour. And let's see how we go. We also have some numbers here at 10 o'clock, so keep an eye on those. Let's see if anything changed. So dollar still bearish bias, but we're in demand now, so that kind of goes into neutral. It's not a strong demand area. I wouldn't buy it. It's probably going to break, but we'll see. I notice here we got up to that next level, the supply here. On this, you can see it here on the 4 hour, the top. It's kind of the top of this. Now, this is looking like, well, we're starting to move down here. You have to watch this. There's two levels here. There's this top level, and there's another level here, which we just hit. This level there. So we're probably going to get a pullback. Okay, pound, we're back above it here. We've got another level. Let's mark that out. Let's go with that. Noticed we hit it here, it came down, and now we broke above. So the level that we're dealing with now is not this level. It's a level higher, which is here. There's a pivot there. Pivot, move down. Notice that's where we stopped. Staying. We break here, we're going to go back up here again. Most likely. This is sideways. Don't be too interested in that. Aussie, we're still long bias here, even though we're at the highs, which is kind of tricky. It's probably going to break them. So about euro yen, kind of neutral to long bias as well, but also at the highs. Dollar yen, potential to short this. This could be interesting if the yen starts to move. If we suddenly get a move up on the yen, which doesn't look likely at the moment, it looks weaker than that. But if we do, it suddenly shoots up, that will be a good bet to play on the short side. There's an entry here if you want, entry right here, right now. It's into demand though, but And what you'd want to do if you did take an entry here, you want to put your stop above there. It's a pretty wide stop. You could do it smaller, but you may get stopped out. You can put it above this area if you want. Tighter stop, put a 20 pip stop on, and potential for this is to take it down to this level. So it's about 100 pips for 20, about 5-to-1 trade. If you take it here with a stop above, maybe you take it slightly higher, maybe 3-to-1, put a slightly wider stop. What I usually do, listen to this carefully. You have a fulcrum here, which is the 80. Notice how we're stopping around this 80 area. Yeah, the 80 is here. Yeah. This might be worth a try, actually, because the dollar looks like it's going to continue moving down and the yen may bounce. And this is not a bad idea. And the structure here is for a drop down. We could try this. So entry here, stop above. Now, if you've got an entry close to a fulcrum, put your stop above. So we'd have to put a stop at least at 85. So you get in here, 55, about 30 pips, but 34, about 100. So it's about 3-to-1. So as an idea that may play out. Again, if this works half the time, if this scenario works half the time and you get a 3-to-1 on the trade, you're going to do very well. I don't know if this particular time is going to work, if you understand this, but generally speaking, you know, this scenario has a chance to work. And the reward to risk is pretty good. So let's take a picture of the idea. Okay, I'm in the trade, okay, just to let you know, I just took the trade. Doesn't mean it's going to work just because I took it, but I did. So I think the reward to risk on it's pretty good. Okay, so this is the entry. Okay, I don't know if it works or it doesn't. It doesn't make any difference to me whether it works or not. That's the attitude you need to have, okay? But it's not a bad idea. So the entry is here, okay? And this is what you should be doing. The stop's above here, above this area, okay? We're in tighter stop, and we're looking to target around here. We're looking to target down here. Okay, if it breaks, it's gonna drop. Okay, it's gonna drop pretty hard. And I think, you know, the yen, these yen pairs used to be so much more volatile. These are like some of the best. You know, they used to be the best pairs to trade because they were like, you know, they used to move like hundreds of pips in a day. I mean, Mike, you remember that? You can type it in the room; people can see you, even though you can't speak at the moment. But this is the idea. We'll look to target that. We may manage it in a way that will take something on the way. So, okay, well, let's have a look and see what happens if it works. So that's the idea. You want to put a stop here because that means it may be going higher. Goes above there. I mean, it could still go up and then come back down again, but we want to see it go now. Yep. Here. So it's 30 for 90 or 30 for 100, something like that. It's 3-to-1 trade. Right off the open, okay? Okay, we talked about it. It's got a structure that looks good. It looks like the dollar's going to continue moving to the downside, as we said before. That's what it looks to the bottom of the base. It looks like the euro, the yen may bounce. It's in an area where it got right down. So this is the one to play. I mean, let's just keep it simple. It makes sense. Okay, makes sense structure-wise. You know that And it makes sense, everything. So there's the trade. And it may go more than that. We may get a big move right back down again. So that's the trade. That's the day. Take a picture of it so you know what it looked like, and then bingo, let's see what's happening. So far, so good. We've broken below here. And let's see if we can get down to this level. Okay, disclaimer. So disclaimer, I'm in the trade, okay? I just took it. I mean, like, that's the one that you can't stand the thought of missing. It looks too good to miss. You remember doing the JPY moves a lot. Okay? I mean, there's no necessarily, I'm up quite nicely here at the moment, but who knows? We will see. So you want to put your stop at 1, 2, 3, 5. And again, this could be very jumpy as well. So and 1, 2, 3, 55. There you go. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, now we've got significant pivot here. We just pushed below this area, and then we've got significant pivots on the demand side here. And again, it's looking. If you look at sell up, we're looking now for a sell that's going to break and bring us down to basically this area down here. I'm looking for 12260. Okay, now it may go more. It may go all the way back down and whatever. I'm looking at that as a first target area, 12260. Just see if I've got the right. Yeah, it's a 3-to-1. Okay, makes sense. Okay, let's not dwell on it. It's done. Now we'll just let it play out. Okay, let's see what else we have. Ooh. That's not working. Okay. So as we said before, dollar's gonna probably keep going down. That's what it could break. It's not likely to hold here. We'll see. It could bounce, and then maybe lower. We'll see. And yeah, there is a possibility it bounces here as well. It's demand, but I'm looking for this to break this area. Maybe wrong, but that's what it looks like at the moment. And we're looking for this to have some sort of reaction here, because if it doesn't, it's gonna, we may get a big move down. But I think it's probably delayed. Generally, this structure is going to push us up here. So that's what I'm looking to play. I'm looking to play this up here by playing the dollar yen to the short side and the continuation down. Now, we'll see. Okay, makes sense. You're going to have to be pretty nimble on this as well. Okay, let's see what else we have. Yeah, dollar may just bounce. That wouldn't be too interesting. Okay, pound. It's also hitting supply. Look at this choppy market. Now, this also, interestingly enough, may also get a pullback down to here. We'll know more by the end of the day, okay? If this pivots here, it's not likely going to go down. It's likely going to continue. So this is the day to look potentially for a short, even though it's still bullish, down to here, because I think that's probably how it will play out. So you can also look for that. When all said and done, it's probably going to pull back first. I want those days back, Mike. I mean, hey, this is for you. This is for you, Jane, who kind of wasn't around trading on those days. This was like, we're talking about over 10 years ago. The volatility of the yen, you can remember this. Put. I mean, compare it to the NASDAQ. The yen was way more volatile. 10 years ago, way more volatile. It used to run in, it could run in 2 minutes. I caught moves on that sometimes, like 300, 400, 500 pip moves in 2 minutes. Like literally. You remember that? Mike remembers those. We've also seen the Swissy move as well. We've seen the Swissy move 1,000 pips or 1,000 points in one day. That's why Mike was a bit scared off trading it for some time. Okay, so that's what we have. Yeah, because the Swiss National, like saying because of the SMB plays with their exchange rate. Yeah. Well, a lot of countries play with their exchange rate. Okay, let's see if we get a continuation. You see how supply and demand work? Yeah, and that's where those orders are sitting. Right, we want to watch. I want to see if this yen suddenly pushes up. Get the old style yen traders, those Japanese traders. Suddenly get a push to the upside. That would be absolutely marvelous. You certainly can't sell down here. I mean, no, there's no way you can sell a big move down to demand on a massive time frame. There's no way. Like saying, from what I understand, I'm reading this out for those of you watching the replay because you don't see the comments. From what I understand, the SMB also has a mandate to make money, i.e. profit, so they play with the rate to do that sometimes. Yeah. There's also a group in the federal government or whatever in the US called, I think it was called the Plunge Protection Team. And I remember when we first found out, they used to be a secret, but it's not anymore. And I remember when we first found out about them. We used to see, when they had a buy program in the market and the market suddenly whizzed to the upside. It was like crazy volatility. Okay, let's see if we can push above here, and then we're going to get some momentum. If we can't, we start going down, and it will go the other way. But we're profitable anyway, and you can actually take something out here if you want on the dollar yen. It's got to a kind of first-ish, even though we're looking for a bigger move. We're coming down to demand area here, and it's still up. This is not a bad move, even if it doesn't break. But you can take something off and see if we go and manage risk that way. I mean, at the moment, I'm just going to keep the whole thing open because it looks interesting. And these sort of moves will happen pretty quickly. It looks like it's not going to. It might run up again, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's going to make its move, just like this. We'll get a sudden bar, a sudden surge when everyone's like, when suddenly realize what's going on. It goes, boom. You got to be super careful, on these. Now, when you get there, and you see this is going up. This is a beauty. This is a power of playing a breakout. This is a base. There's a breakout of the base. And look at the massive move. This is almost 1,000 pips. Actually, probably is from here. It's 115. If you played it from the bottom of the base, like from here around it's 115, 116. And look at where we went to 125. Yeah. So this is like, it's doing well. Okay. This is like kind of one of those no-brainer trades. You got to take this one. Who's in this trade? You guys, this is it. Doesn't get much better than this. I mean, it could do, but this is just like obvious. So entry here, going down. Now we're at the bottom now. We've got to see if we're going to break this. There's a possibility we don't. We'll know when we break 123, it's going to drop. Break the lows here. See, it looks less exciting watching it on the 4-hour chart. It doesn't like anything. You watch it on a 5-minute chart. Well, let's go down to 1 minute, and you see you can see the move. Yep. It's probably going to bounce. Fulcrum area, the 20. Again, you can take something off at the bottom here. It's demand. It's demand that's probably going to break. But no guarantees. It could bounce all the way back up again as well. Oh, a nicely in profit. Okay, let's see what's happening with the yen. Yeah, we'll see. If it gets above this area, it should pop. And again, this is setting up. This is where I'll go over this again soon. This is like just a brilliant, you never sell after a big move down. You see this big, but you see how we're going down and we suddenly had this massive bar down. You see the first sell setup here. Never, ever sell that. It most often fails. You see, it didn't follow through. You're looking like it's a big move down. It comes up and you're going to sell here. It almost always fails. That's why the next move is usually to the upside. Try it again here, though. But as we're looking, I mean, this is looking like we're going to break to the upside. And again, I want to go over like kind of. Let me go over this very, very quickly so you understand what's going on here. The idea is this: when you get a market going like this, and suddenly it goes, off the cliff like this, and then it bounces. Don't sell the first sell setup. Don't do that, because what happens usually is that. Now, not always. Sometimes it may work, but most often than not, it doesn't. Okay, 1 second, guys. What's going on here? Why is the chat not working? Okay, how are we doing? You guys hear me? Mike, do you hear me? You guys hear me? Yeah, that seems like the best trade at the moment. Basically playing the yen. Oh, you hear me fine. Good job. So let's watch it break. I mean, this is the pattern you need. This is, I call a rising lows. It's going to break the top. Yeah, the odds are probably about 80% of the time. I mean, sometimes it fails, but you need to take those trades. Okay. Let's go back to our yen trade. We're up quite nicely now. Very nice. Look at this. Straight move down from the open. Here's the open, straight down. Now, it looks like a mess in here. You have to understand what's going on, bigger picture. That's why I'm looking at multiple time frames. You see this? This is likely going to break. We get a bit of reaction at the bottom because that's what happens. People are buying thinking, oh, this is demand. We're going up. So you can see there's a bit of reaction here. We need to break. We know what number we need to break. We need to break below here, below the figure, 123, about 15 pips there. Could run up again. We'll see. I need to change. Having problems with my platform, that when I click on to get out part position, it closes me the whole position. And yeah, so you can take something off here. Again, this is from here. It's a nice move. I mean, it's already like, you know, more than one up. We said we're going to get a bounce. It's just that's what happens. Do this. Good, that should help me. Good. Okay, it's going to bounce, and then we want to see it bounce and then fail and come crashing down, which may not happen, but we'll see. I want to see the dollar should break this area. Okay, this is not a buy by any means at all. Even if it does run up, you can see the weakness of it over here. It should break this area and drop, and we should see a continuation. We're long side bias, remember, the euro. We're long side bias to where? To break this area. Yeah, we're going back to the upside again. And this is what we need. Let's just see if we get this coming. Let's see, we get a little bit of a pullback, but it should come back. And you see, look at what we're chipping away at here. This is, why won't I get this working drawing? Let's see, price level. No, where is it? Here we go. Look at this level here. It's basically all this. 1, 2, third time. Notice, massive strong area. Boom. So we get a reaction. We get a reaction. But look how weaker it is now. It's not going all the way down. We're getting all the way down here. From here, we went down to this level. And that means the supply level here is weakening. Now, could still hold. Yeah, that's a possibility. But we've got something else on this trade as well. On the yen trade, we also have the dollar, which we're looking also in this we just went below. There you go. We said it's not going to hold this area. There you go. That's why not all demand's the same. You have to understand this is not a demand to buy against. Over here, yes, not now. So that should be kicking the yen. Let's go back. Is this great? How many times you get this? This is great. Finally, we got a good opportunity to show a trade from beginning to end of how to actually trade this. Now, even though it's bouncing, we should break. This should break. So you watch it before you're going to bounce. And then, there's people buying there for some reason or other. I mean, maybe they're right. Maybe it will work this time. Who knows? But looking for it to break. So you might want to take something off here. We already have, 52, nice 30. We had more down here. 30, 40 points. It's probably going to bounce a bit. We're looking for a bounce and fail. Not a bounce and hold. That wouldn't be what we want. And again, I wouldn't go into negative territory on this one. I would, you know, if it comes back too far, just get out, take profit on it. So I've got 1R over here. I can get out, make 1R. I'm looking for 3, so it's still profitable here. This is what I mean. You can actually make money on the trade even if it doesn't carry on. So I can close out here, make 1R. Okay. So we want to see a bounce and fail. That's what we want, bounce and fail. And we've seen this. This should continue down to the next level. There's another level down here. We've got a level below. Could bounce off that level. That's it. That's what we said. Remember our bias from the beginning? Bias. Dollar short. You see that? Euro long. This one didn't play out. Dollar yen short. That's where these trades are coming from. Okay. Euro continuing. See, this is a harder one to play because it's kind of at the highs already. But it's probably, well, it could drop from here. We're at the high, but there is an idea here. You can trade this, move up. It's not bad. Okay, we want to, let's see if we get the failure here. You guys enjoying this? When you're confident with how a market moves, you can trade with more confidence. And remember, don't forget money management and everything else like that. You don't want to let winning trades go into losers. And that's not what you want to do. You want to manage your risk in the right way as well. Okay, dollar still dropping, as we said, going back down to the bottom of the base. Okay, that's where it's likely going. Okay. And I want to see the yen break. I want to see it catch and push up. I don't want a big pullback here. It's going to pull back. I don't want a big one, small one. Catch and then break above. The other option here is if it doesn't, it comes all the way down, and then it means the trade didn't work. But we're still profitable. And it could also mean the dollar could also bounce here as well, because we had another demand level below. Okay, pullback, no surprises there. We said we're going to have one. We want to see it catch and break, as opposed to turn around and go all the way down again. And that wouldn't be. Yeah, the dollar's also bouncing a little bit here. So no surprises. Okay, I want to see us catch and push up again. On this turn and come and just fail, break. No, if that's all the bounce we get, it should work like now, hopefully. Let's see. Well, hope's not the right word to use, but let's see if we can take out the lows now. I have no idea who would be buying here. I mean, you think yourself, who's on the other side of who's buying here apart from people that may be taking profit? So it's going to be, you know, if you haven't got nerves of steel, whatever. I'm still holding the whole position. I haven't done anything with it. I'm holding it. Now it should break. Okay, should break. Got the lows. Here we go. See, picture perfect. What a good trade this is. Great. We should break the figure. Let's go down to here. It should go. It should go now. There you go. And if you want to see it quicker, well, there you go. You see, we said we're going to bounce, not to get out. You want to go down. Oh, okay, we're bouncing back a bit. Fine. It should getting pretty choppy here. What a beautiful trade. So got in here. Got over 50 more. At this point, 60. Yeah. But we're not out yet. We're still in it. Let's see if the yen actually did that. Did it break? Yeah, it did. This is exactly what we said was going to happen. But it may come down now. That's the thing. We're going to take some profit here, actually. Maybe. No, it's like kind of where it gets very chippy. When it's done exactly what we said it would do. The question is, are we going to get some follow through here? That's the question. We're going to get some follow through down. We've got a number of demand areas below. We've got one here. We've got one here. We've got this one and a big bar up. So we're going to bounce off these areas, but we should get down to this area where we broke out from. So I'm still holding the whole thing. Let's see if we get down to 60. We've got 30 points to go. And then we've got a 3 down target 12260. First target area. Again, you can hold. Actually, you know, if it gets there today, Jane will be very proud of the Forex market actually moving for once. Yeah, 20 pips to go to our first target. Remember, we've got a fulcrum here and we're going to bounce. Love this trade. Bouncing off the 80s. You've got 2R over here, okay? 2R, so you can get out if you want. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, this is a target area as well, kind of, but I think it should break that. Now we've got the dollar going down, so we've got the dollar on our side as well. Dollar starting to go down more. A little bounce, so we should hopefully pick up a bit more steam, but we'll see. Again, 80 fulcrum area. So no surprises there. Let's see if we get down to 60. Come on. Should bang the table. Good job, Shakur, on the long of the euro. Same idea. Okay, come on, give us some 60s. There we go. Break the 80s. Let's get down to 60. Come on. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, we still got this area. Okay, there. That's where we are. There's a demand area there, 75.5. We need to break that to go down. If we break that, we're going to go straight down to 60, no problem. So it's 10 pips down. That's why we're still holding this area. It's a demand area here. Not the strongest, mind you, but it could bounce a little bit. Okay, see we get down to 60. Let's see if we get it. There, we finally got a day trade in the trading session. It's been a while. Okay, we're going to break 75 and then we should get down. But again, if you want to take something here, you're up 2R. You're easily up 2R here, a bit over 2R. So what you can do is lock in. You want to lock in here. You can bring your stop down and lock in 1R. You don't want to end up with a losing trade here. Take profit at this, can take something out or manage your trade. I'm still in the whole position. I'm looking for 60 to 122.60. Let's see if we get another run. Yeah, it's just jiggling around this area. Again, no surprises. But this is where people that are not experienced get out of the trade and they miss out on this. A big move, another 40, 50 pips here. Patience, those orders need to be filled. And once they're filled, and we go down. And if there's demand steps up, then we go up. It's just the way the market works. Okay, we'll wrap up in a couple of minutes. You guys enjoyed today? Okay, nice move. Did the market do exactly what I said it would do ahead of time? It did, didn't it? Yeah. We say we're going to get a thing. We want to catch and push up. And how did we push up? Pretty strong. I said we're going to do it, and it's going to happen quickly. There you go. Let's see if we can get to a first target area before we finish this session. We may not, but we're at a 2R target here, a bit over 2R. So if you want to take something out here, it's not a problem at all. It's getting a bit flickery. Yep. As a trade, we were looking for 60. Let's see, we need to break 75. We're getting there. And it should go down pretty quickly now, about 15 pips away. See if we can get this whole trade done and dusted in this session. Otherwise, come on. This is how it used to be trading the open. It used to get trades off the open like this. Mike can probably, and we used to be in a few trades like this and be done and dusted in an hour, finished. That's why we run the session like this. But, recently a lot of the moves have happened other times, but we've got one now. So about an hour, it's not bad. You can be done and dusted for the day. All right, we're going to break 75, break this, and then we should get down here. So it's going to, you see how we're stopping 75 or 73. We're going a little bit below, so we should go down. We should go down. We get a final surge. Yeah. There's no demand here at all. Nothing. It's free space. Tradable void. Here we go. We're almost at our target. 3R trade, if we get there. It's getting close. Come on, final surge down. There you go. Ah! It just missed me. There we go. We should get it now. 60. Come on. There's nothing there to stop it. There's no demand. Nothing. I haven't got filled yet. I'm still flipping around my area. 1 pip away. I did it slightly higher than it's probably going to go down lower. I did it slightly higher to make sure I get filled. I'm like 1 pip away. Almost filled. But yeah, we're there. I'm not filled yet. I'm still waiting to get filled. Gone. Done and dusted. 3R in the bank. Done. Guys like the trade? What a great trade. And I said exactly, talked you through the whole trade from beginning to end. What do you guys think? Good job. There you go. Let's take the picture. Done. This is what you need to do. Process. And it's going to go more, but I'm happy with 3R on the trade. Done. Finished. Picture. So our entry on the trade was here. Yeah. Entry. Exit. We got it. We didn't get, I got out 60. Yeah. Basically, on this time frame, we can do it here as well. Yeah, let's just do it here. Exit. There you go. 3R trade. Now I need to do that. Exit. Done. Finish. What a beautiful trade. Good. We should have more of these every day. It's what it used to be like. Mike, you remember that? It used to be like this every day. Yeah. Okay, look, not being greedy here. It could go more, but I'm happy with that. And it's exactly, kind of it went down a little bit more, but that's good. Exactly how a trade should be. Done and dusted, just over an hour, and we're finished. Done. Take a picture afterwards. And so I got out 60 and okay, it went down to 50. I said 50 is probably where it's going, but I want to make sure I get filled. You see, it hit my target and didn't fill me. Sometimes you have that issue. And yeah, we're done. Job done. That was a nice trade. Yeah, 3R. Done. Okay, and look how big look at the movers. We got basically pretty much 100, like just shy of 100 points. 100 points. There you go on a forex pair. This is not, this is not the Nasdaq, but still 100 points in and not bad. From here to here. Got that. These are the day trades that we used to get all the time. Used to get, it looks like nothing here, but you put it all together and you say, oh, opportunity. Look at the risk. We put a stop above here and look at the reward. Now it could go a lot more than this. We could get a big move down. We could go another few hundred pips, but that's the day trade initial target area. Okay, let's quickly go over what we have. Yeah, that was a good day. See the dollar? We said it's going down, not up. And you can see, so we're going to break this level. Don't buy. It's understanding what you're seeing in the market and then putting it all together and finding a trade and that meets your plan. And that's it. Just keep repeating. Get good at it. It's a skill like any other skill, but you have to practice the right way. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you don't know what you're doing and you're just hoping to make money consistently on a day-to-day, it's not going to work. You got to have a plan. You got to know exactly what you're doing, and you got to be able to repeat it. And you got to, do it with confidence. Just quickly go through that was the one that moved, and we had a nice mover also. If you got that as well, Shakur, good job. This is also, but this didn't move as much. Yeah, this is that was probably the best moving trade so far. 100 pip move compared to this, which is done in the same time, 30. I'd go with 100 better. I mean, you could probably size this up in a different way and end up with a nice trade there as well. And Mike, well spotted. Mike was saying Aussie relatively weak, so that also had the nice move down. And we said also here, we said we're in supply with price direction down. We're probably going to move down here. So I said, what do we say? We said, watch for a short here. And we did say that. I think if I remember correctly, we said we could short this. See, again, you can see how these, if you know how to read the market, how that can be used to your advantage. So You know, in the olden days, I used to, you know, they say, oh, it's demand, it's a big drop down, it's going to bounce it. And like, no, because I did it so many times like this and it never worked. And I'm like, okay, I need to sell here. So you can sell. You see, I said with confidence, it's going to break. Do not buy this area. It's going to break it. The power of understanding price action. And we also said the pound is probably going higher as well. Okay, we got to this level. It's probably going to, you know, have some reaction to that. Again, harder to trade up here. You want to get, look at the move here. You want to get this move. If you look at what we just got on the dollar yen, this is what you want. There's no buying at all. There's buying, people on the other side of your sell. Yeah, but there's no buying pressure at all. It's just red bar after red bar after red bar with little in this time frame, barely nothing. And I'm sure some of you probably got out here. You could have done, but take the whole. I took it the whole way. Got out 122.60. Okay, so I didn't get 50. I got 60. I wanted to give it just a little bit more wiggle room. Now it may continue, as I said, but that's the trade. What do you guys think? Good job. Okay, thanks a lot, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. It's probably a good idea. Go over the recording of this. The recording will be up soon, probably within the hour or so. Go over the recording, watch it again, and you'll see the process we go through. And you can see for your own records as well. This is very important. For those of you who haven't gone through the training, how to run a trading business, you should do it. Don't hold back. Go all out. I come to this conclusion, you know, recently, and this is more of a, you know, there's people unfortunately dying around us. We've had, you know, we just heard of another young man with 5 kids who unfortunately just passed away. Young, you know, 5 young kids, leaves his wife, 5 young kids, you know. You don't know what's going to happen. You want to live life full out every single day because you don't know when your last day is. And you don't want to regret anything and not, you know, not live life to the full. Don't be afraid of anything. You know, just go all out and learn from your mistakes. I tell my kids all the time, you know, so my daughter makes a mistake. So what? I don't care. As long as she learns from it, then she's in a better place. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of losing money. Yeah, don't be afraid. What you should be afraid of is not living your life to your full potential. Okay, get the most out of life, of every single moment. Make the most of it. Life's too short to, you know, get hung up on the little things. Go all out and never regret playing full out. You see, look at what we've got out. We got out at 60. Look what the market's doing now. It's getting some buying pressure here. Why? Because we're close to demand. We're close to this demand level. Okay, we said this is going to be the move. Now, anything can happen after that. But that's it. That's the day trade. That's the done and dusted in 1 hour a day trading or 1.5 hour trading. And this is how I like to trade. This is how I like to trade at the market open. And we should get more opportunities like this. I mean, I'm looking forward to the market setting up so that we've got something to do. But waiting for that is worth it. And knowing what to do and knowing how to trade it. Okay, that's it for today's session. Pretty a bit longer session today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, let me know in the chat area. You can send me an email. And we're going to keep doing this, what we do every single day. We take trades based on our trading plan. We understand how to read the market. We're masters of reading price action. And you can learn from us, from myself, Mike, and Jane, how to master price action. If you want to learn how to master in the NASDAQ at the market open, Jane's the one. Jane's you go to. She's a master at everything to do with that market. Not my speciality, that one particular market, but the same principles apply in all markets. Once you understand how to read price action and understand how and all the different components that make it up, the patterns repeat themselves again and again. You see, you're not outstaying your welcome. I'm not sitting. I'm not waiting for a massive move. This is a day trade. This was the trade. Look, we got in here. We got the whole move, pretty much the whole move, the meat of the move, the top and the bottom. I mean, for now, that's not bad. So what you need to do, I mean, for now, what you can do is take a third picture of it, and I'll show you this, and then we'll kind of wrap up. But this is a third picture of what happened. I mean, immediately after. You want to take it later on to see, did I do well? Yeah. So here's the trade in full. And let's go. Let me see if I can. I've got to open up my trade log. Okay. Okay. Picture of entry. You don't see how it was what we're looking for down here. Yeah. We're looking for this area. Yeah. Entry. This is what it looked like. This is how we managed our risk. You see, we got about 30 pips. Yeah. From 50 to 80, something like that. Yeah. Or 60, depending on how you got in. Yeah. What happened next? Boom. Yeah. So you see, some people say, oh, you took the picture. You didn't do it. We talked about it before it played out. Most people show you this. They show you a picture here. They say, enter here, exit there. Or they show you this picture. They say, well, I entered here and exit there. No, you made the decision when it looked like this. And how do you look at this and see that? Well, that's how you understand everything that we put into this trade. That's how it works. You want to see this and your brain recognizes, whoops, you want to see this and your brain recognizes that. And you see, here's a trade, what happened the other day. Execution error. I'm in this trade. This was the pound that I took on the short side, and you see, I got out before the target. I wasn't meant to, but the platform, I clicked on something and it closed my trade out. See, it wasn't at the target. The target was 1.3050 or 55, 1.3055 on the trade. I said I had a bit of an issue with that yesterday. So you see a picture, 3055. You see, this was the target here. So what do you do in that scenario? If you're around when that happens, yeah, which you are, if you hit the thing, you get back in. If you make a mistake, if you make a mistake and get in a trade that you shouldn't be in, get out straight away. Don't even think about it. Your immediate reaction is get out. Don't try and make money. Don't nothing. Just get out, because the one time it's not the trade that you should be in, you would have wished you would have gotten out. So you get out. You make a mistake. Recover from it immediately. Don't think. This should be a reflex reaction. And again, that will serve you well in the long term. Okay, that's it for today's session. We'll see you tomorrow around 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone else. Hope you enjoyed the session.